Applying setting powder with a brush seems straightforward, but this one common mistake can undo your entire makeup look. The art of using setting powder is not about adding more product, but about strategic placement and technique. A large, fluffy powder brush is the classic tool for this job, designed to distribute a light, even veil of powder across the skin. Its purpose is to set liquid and cream products, control shine, and create a smooth, finished texture without appearing heavy or cakey. The effectiveness of this process, however, depends entirely on how the powder is picked up and applied. Many simply dip the brush into the powder and immediately sweep it across the face. This method often results in an uneven application, with too much product deposited in some areas and not enough in others, leading to a patchy finish and potential creasing. Before you even touch the powder, the first step is preparing your brush. Ensure your powder brush is clean and completely dry. A damp brush will cause the powder to clump, making a smooth application impossible. The ideal brush for setting the entire face is typically large, with soft, flexible bristles that are densely packed but not overly stiff. This allows the brush to pick up a sufficient amount of powder and disperse it finely and evenly. Smaller, more tapered powder brushes are better suited for targeted application, such as under the eyes or around the nose, but for an Oliver set, a larger brush provides the best diffusion. Now, let's focus on loading the brush correctly, which is a critical step often overlooked. Whether you're using loose or pressed powder, the principle is the same. For loose powder, instead of dipping the brush directly into the container, tap a small amount of powder into the lid. This gives you much better control over how much product you pick up. Gently swirl the brush in the lid, allowing the bristles to grab the powder evenly. If you're using a pressed powder, lightly swirl the brush over the surface of the pan. The goal is to coat the tips of the bristles, not to saturate the entire brush head. Once the brush is loaded, the next step is absolutely essential. Tapping off the excess. This is the secret to avoiding a heavy, overpowdered look. Hold the brush horizontally and gently tap the handle against your wrist or the edge of the counter. You will see a small cloud of excess powder fall away. What remains on the brush is the perfect amount for a flawless application. This single action prevents the common problem of depositing a concentrated patch of powder on first contact with the skin. It ensures that you are working with a light, manageable amount of product, allowing you to build coverage gradually if needed. With the brush properly loaded and the excess removed, you can begin the application. The technique you use will determine the final finish. Instead of sweeping or dragging the brush across your face, which can disturb the foundation underneath, start with a gentle pressing or stippling motion. This is especially important for areas where you want to lock in concealer or control shine, like the T-zone, under the eyes, and around the mouth. Lightly press the brush onto the skin, rolling it slightly. This motion sets the makeup in place without friction, ensuring your base remains smooth and intact. It pushes the powder into the makeup, effectively bonding them together for long-lasting wear. After you have set the key areas with this pressing motion, you can then transition to a light sweeping motion for the rest of the face. Use large, gentle strokes to dust a sheer layer of powder over the cheeks, forehead, and jawline. The touch should be feather-light, as if you are barely grazing the skin. This light dusting removes any remaining tackiness from your foundation, evens out the skin's texture, and provides a soft focus, airbrushed effect. The goal is not to add coverage, but to unify the finish. Over-applying or using too much pressure will result in a flat, matte look that can accentuate fine lines and texture. The key is subtlety. For those with combination or dry skin, a full face application may not be necessary or desirable. In this case, use your powder brush selectively. After loading and tapping off the excess, focus only on the areas that tend to get oily, such as the forehead, nose, and chin. By applying powder just to the T-zone, you can control shine where you need it most, while allowing the other areas of your face, like your cheeks, to retain a natural luminosity. This targeted approach prevents the skin from looking overly matte and can help maintain a more hydrated, dimensional appearance. The large, fluffy nature of the brush allows you to blend the edges of the powdered areas seamlessly into the rest of the face, so there are no visible lines of demarcation. A common area of concern is setting makeup under the eyes. While a large powder brush can be used, it requires a delicate touch. After applying concealer, look up to smooth out any creases. Then, using just the tip of your fluffy brush with a minimal amount of powder, gently press it onto the under eye area. Avoid any rubbing or sweeping motions here, as the skin is very delicate and prone to creasing. The light pressing motion will set the concealer without depositing too much product, which could otherwise settle into fine lines and look dry. For many, a smaller, softer brush specifically designed for the under eye area might offer more precision and control. To achieve a truly seamless finish, the final step is to blend everything together. Once you've applied powder to all the desired areas, take your clean or nearly clean powder brush, the same one you used or a separate, clean one, and use it to lightly buff the entire face. Use very light, circular motions. This step doesn't add more product. Instead, it melts the powder with your foundation and skin, removing any excess that might be sitting on the surface. This final buffing action is what creates that polished, skin-like finish, ensuring there are no powdery patches and that your makeup looks unified and professionally done. It helps to diffuse any harsh edges and gives the skin a soft, velvety texture. In summary, mastering the use of a powder brush is a game of control and technique. It begins with choosing the right brush and preparing it properly. The most crucial steps involve loading the brush lightly, and most importantly, tapping off the excess to prevent over-application. Employ a combination of pressing motions to set the makeup and light, sweeping motions to finish. By tailoring the application to your skin type, either a full face set or targeted T-zone application, you can achieve a flawless, long-lasting finish that enhances your makeup rather than masking it. The final buffing step ensures everything is seamlessly blended for a truly airbrushed effect. With these techniques, your setting powder and brush will work in harmony to create a smooth, perfected complexion that lasts all day.